up? A cinemashogun here, and do any of you all have any random fears? Like, are you scared about things that you know probably will never happen, but in the back of your mind, you're just kind of scared of it? For me, one of those things is like being torn apart by freaking chimpanzees or gorillas or something. I don't know why, but I always have that weird feeling in the back of my mind that if I go to a zoo or something, I'm going to be attacked by monkeys. Now, the reason I feel this way, or the reason I have this little fear, is probably, and when I think about it, this is not a random fear at all, but a few years ago, I was at the Jacksonville Zoo, and I came across, the gorilla exhibit. There were a bunch of little kids around and a few mothers. We're all standing at the glass and we're looking at this gorilla bounce around a little bit. And then me and the gorilla made eye contact. It was like we were looking into each other's souls. And in the moment I was like, oh man, this is my spirit animal. We're connecting on like a whole different level. And as those thoughts were going through my head, the gorilla charged straight at me and bam, hit the glass. And when it hit the glass automatically went. Of course, it didn't break through the glass, but it like spider webbed all the way through. And from that moment, I knew that maybe I have no business being at the zoo. And I haven't been back to a zoo since, although I really love going to zoos and aquariums. But that right there was enough. That was enough. I've seen enough. I immediately went home after that. And afterwards, I got to thinking, like, what happened? What went wrong? Now, I was wearing all black. Black shoes. I had some jeans on. Black long sleeve shirt. Black Scully, and I was surrounded by nothing but little kids and women, so I'm thinking that maybe the gorilla saw me. I'm a big dude. I'm thinking the gorilla saw me and maybe mistakenly thought I was another gorilla. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I've always had that fear in the back of my mind that I'm going to get ripped apart by monkeys. But anyways, recently, at a zoo in Texas, I believe this actually happened yesterday, two zookeepers accidentally got stuck inside of the gorilla exhibit, and it was a very, very scary moment for them both. I can't really describe the situation, so instead, I'm just going to show you all, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Shoot, she doesn't know. Oh my god. Really natural stuff. No, get the kids away. Yeah.
Come here, guys. We're gonna go inside.
Yeah.
We're gonna go inside.
She doesn't know.
Come on, guys. Let's go inside.
Come on, guys.
We're gonna go inside. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. God help her. 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 God protect her.
You know, like this animal
God, animals obey the sound of your voice.
God will you. Please protect her.
God.
I think they train them. I think he smells it, but I don't think I didn't know that.
Please protect her, Father.
Something very enticing.
Please protect her. Please protect her, Father. No, it's animal come near her. protect her.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lord. 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 Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lord.
I know that some people were probably shocked by that video, but it didn't surprise me at all. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that I think we're going to start seeing stuff like this way more often. And I feel like this video is just yet another example of one of the main issues that we're dealing with in America as we speak. That issue being incompetence. I feel like our country is being ran by incompetent leaders. DEI, social credit scores, you name it. All of that stuff is causing jobs all across the spectrum. From people who are working fast food, to zookeepers, to bankers, to CEOs. It's causing these job positions to be filled by people who are not qualified for the job. People are no longer being hired because they know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about, because they're experienced. No, people are being hired because, oh, maybe you're this color, maybe you're a woman, maybe you're gay, maybe you're this. A lot of these businesses, jobs, corporations, whatever you want to call them, they're checking off boxes. So when you look at things like the zoo and all of these issues that we've seen at the zoo lately, when you look at all of these plane crashes that are all of a sudden happening, life wasn't always like this. It's because we have a bunch of people who are holding positions at the zoo, at the airport, in the airlines, and I'm just using the zoo and the airlines for an example, but we have a bunch of people in positions all across the spectrum in any job that you can think of that have no business being there. So when you see our society start to decay, when you see the destruction of our society, understand that this is one of the reasons why. Because we have a bunch of idiots running everything. So of course things are going to go wrong. Instead of hiring a experienced zookeeper that knows what they're talking about, who may happen to be a white dude, they'll hire some random person from another country that has no experience with gorillas. Instead of hiring a pilot that actually knows how to fly planes, they'll hire some random person that doesn't know what they're doing, and then you wonder why you're crash landing and pieces of your plane are falling off and all of this stuff. It's because we have incompetent people in every position that you can think of. From the people flying the planes, from the people building the planes, from the people who own the zoo to the people who are in charge of feeding the animals. We can't run a proper society. We cannot run a proper society while employing a bunch of incompetent people that have no idea what they're doing, yet that is the direction our country has taken. In the name of equity and inclusion, we got to go hire a bunch of people who have no idea what they're doing. That's basically what's happening. So when I see people getting stuck in gorilla enclosures, I automatically can't help but think about the fact that someone failed at their job here. Someone failed somewhere along the lines, which is why these people are trapped in that enclosure. If everyone is doing their job right, those two people aren't going to be trapped with an aggressive gorilla in the zoo, okay? If everyone was doing their job right, but someone failed down the line. And that's what we're seeing in every field that you can imagine right now. So when you have all of these incompetent people running the country, running the airlines, running the restaurants, running the supply chain, running the freaking local zoo, this is what's going to happen. But you take all of that and then you mix it with this current generation of kids and young people who don't want to learn anything. They don't want to do any manual labor. They don't want to do anything but make TikTok videos. A lot of them are unwilling to learn. And unfortunately, because we have all of these people in positions of power that really shouldn't hold those positions of power, we don't even have competent people here that are going to pass off these skills to the younger generation. And even my generation was kind of bad, because I'll be the first to admit, my grandfather went out of his way all the time to try to teach me to work on cars. He tried to teach me how to fix, anything you can think of. He tried to teach me how to fix cars, tried to teach me how to fix sinks, tried to teach me how to do electrical work. He tried to teach me so many things, but I was kind of hard-headed and unwilling to learn. And now I look back on it like, damn, I would have been a jack of all trades. I would have known how to do everything had I listened to my grandfather, but I was unwilling to learn, even in my generation. All I wanted to do was read and do this and do that. And in retrospect, I know now that, I don't believe that it was ever meant for me to work on cars or to be a handyman. I believe that I am doing right now what God intended for me to do. I fully do believe that. I believe that I am here, right in front of you, for a reason. I believe this is the path that was chosen for me. But it was a problem in my generation. It's an even worse problem in the generation after mine, of people no longer willing to really be patient to learn skills from their predecessors, right? And over time, as a society, there are going to be skills that we have forgotten. You would think that society always progresses. You would think that society is always moving forward. But I fully believe that there are periods in history where society kind of paused and it didn't move forward. If anything, society kind of moved backwards. And I feel like we're kind of in one of those eras right now where technology is moving forward, but just the common knowledge that we have as human beings, it's digressing. We're forgetting basic concepts, what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman. That's just one thing right there that we have forgotten. Okay? There's a reason why society is set up the way it is. It's because this has been proven to work. But now we're dismantling society. We got incompetent people running everything. And these incompetent people, they're not going to have knowledge to pass down to the next generation. Like, hey, here's how you fly an airplane. Here's how you fix a car. Here's how you feed a gorilla, right? So there's going to be a lot of things that we know now that future generations are going to lose this knowledge. They're not going to be able to do the skills that people were doing in the past. And we've seen that before. A lot of people think that, for example, the pyramids were built by aliens or something along those lines. Maybe, who knows? But if you look back on history, you will see that we as the human race, we had skills. We were doing things thousands of years ago that you would think that we would never have been capable of doing, but we were doing those things. But somewhere along the lines, we forgot how to do those things. That knowledge no longer was passed down. So a lot of the skills that we maybe had 1,000 years ago, we lost over time, and we don't even have those skills now. So things that have taken hundreds and thousands of years for people to learn and for people to perfect, a lot of that stuff is not going to be passed down. It could be major things like how to work on this computer technology, down to minuscule things like, hey, this is how you make grandma's homemade lemon cake. You know what I mean? There's just things that we are losing as a society. And instead of preserving those things, instead of hiring competent people that can teach the younger generation how to also be competent people and how to effectively do this or that, we're no longer doing that. We're no longer taking the time. We're hiring idiots to run everything, and those idiots do nothing but hire and spawn more idiots. So before you know it, the zookeepers aren't running the zoo, the animals are running the zoo. Before you know it, you wake up every morning and there's a new plane crash in the news, which is what we're seeing right now. We are finally starting to see the effects of DEI, diversity, inclusion, and equity. We're starting to see the results of the social credit scores. We're seeing the full breakdown of American society. It's all happening slowly but surely at once. And this is one of the reasons why. It's not like, oh, you just woke up one day and everyone's just an idiot. No, These people have been placed in these positions on purpose. I don't know if it's a big experiment to just see how far society can fall, or if these people really think they're doing the right thing. But like I said, we're just going to start seeing a lot more stuff that a lot of people are not going to understand. Why is this happening? I'm so shocked by this. I'm so shocked by that. I'm not shocked by anything anymore. Because if you look at how everything is set up, if you look at how everything is being run, it's a miracle that things aren't worse than what they already are. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, if you would like to donate to the channel, you can do so via CashApp, or you can help the channel for free by liking, subscribing, ringing that notification bell, and all of that good stuff. But with that being said, I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.